Come on.
My daughter is better off without me.
I think that she's just gonna want her dad around.
What I would do to be you for just a day, I'd just live.
Oh my God! Oh, you think I'm in control? Oh my God! I think it's all for fun. Oh my God! Oh, you think I'm in control? Oh my God! Oh, you think it's all
One's up.
It's kind of a funny story. It came out in 2010. It was directed by Ryan Fleck and Anna Boden. It was based off of a book that came out in 2006 by Ned Vizzini. And I have the book right here. And I tried to read the book once, but I didn't really get that into it. And I usually stop reading books just because, I don't know, they take so long. I mean, I love reading books, and I've read books before. Like, I was such a book reader. It's just nowadays I can't really get through them. This movie is about this boy who is he's suicidal. He thought of jumping off a bridge, but instead he decided to call this like suicide hotline or something, but they didn't really explain it very much in the movie, which it was explained way better in the book. In the movie, it was just all of a sudden it happened. He was at the hospital. Like, he went to the hospital on his own. It didn't even explain the hotline, but he calls the suicide hotline. They tell him to go to the hospital, to walk down the street. He lives in a city. I don't remember which city. They didn't say that in the movie, I don't think. Maybe it was New York. I don't know. See, there was a lot of stuff that wasn't explained in the movie. So he goes to the hospital, and then they talk him into, like, he tells him what happened, and they talk him into checking into this kind of mental ward, but it's not really. It's just like a little hospital part. He goes to the adult section because the teenager section is the teenage floor or whatever. It's all in the hospital. The teenage floor is not open or is under renovation or something, so all the teenagers are staying with the adults, and basically the whole movie is just he's there for like 5 days. He doesn't realize that they're forcing him to stay there, so he freaks out, but because he signed some paper that said that he would go there, but he didn't realize what it was. But the thing is, it's not that big a deal because it's just 5 days, and I don't know, the whole movie just kind of, it felt like they were trying to make it a kind of like he's being forced to be there and people have to deal with being in this place, and I don't know, it wasn't that bad at all. It was like a fine place. And if you sign yourself up, I don't know, I'm not sure, they didn't explain a lot, but he was only there for 5 days, so, and it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, 7 days isn't even that bad, but 5 days. But, so he has friends back home. He has this huge crush on this girl that was dating his best friend, and then he doesn't want anybody at school to find out. Like, his family comes and visits him, like, all the time. He's only there for 5 days, but he meets this girl inside the place, and the cast is really good. The main guy is played by Keir Gilchrist, I think, but I've never heard of him before. I don't think he's done anything else. I don't know. But the rest of the cast, which they're very well-known actors, just to name a few, there's Emma Roberts, Zach Galifianakis, Viola Davis, and Zoe Kravitz. So the girl that he has a crush on that was dating his best friend is played by Zoe Kravitz, and Zach Galifianakis plays this guy that he just meets, and the thing that it wasn't like I had a problem with it, it was just a thing I can say about it is that Zach Galifianakis' character was so much more interesting than anybody else. That, I mean, I want to know more about his story and his character, and I want to know what happens to him, and he just kind of, I don't know if it's a spoiler, and I think I remember this correctly, but he just kind of like disappears at the end. I want to know more about him. His character was the most interesting, so it's just this boy, you just see everything from his perspective, but I want to know more about Zach Galifianakis' character. I love Zach Galifianakis. You know, I missed an opportunity to see him at Bonnaroo because he was there in the comedy tent with Jon Hamm, too, which, oh my gosh, Jon Hamm. And I missed it because I wasn't in the comedy tent. And they were there. It's crazy. But anyway, I mean, I don't know if you heard about that. But, so anyway, I didn't really like Zoe Kravitz's character in this because there's this whole part where, you know, they kind of make it seem like she gets along with the main kid and they have this thing in common that they both have, like, mental problems, but really she doesn't have it like he does, I don't think. And then she just, like, all of a sudden she breaks up with their boyfriend and then she wants to be with the main kid, but then she turns out to be, like, a jerk, and it's just, like, what in the world? I think Zoe Kravitz is cool, but I didn't like her character in this, which is fine. I mean, obviously, the characters, sometimes you don't like them. That was intentional for you to not like her in the end. But, so then I think eventually the main kid gets with the girl that's in there with him, played by Emma Roberts, that he kind of started to like. But I just didn't think that their relationship was that great either. There wasn't enough time spent on their relationship for it to feel like you wanted them together. And he was only in there for 5 days, so there wasn't much. But the most interesting part about it was Zach Galifianakis' character. So I wish there was more about him. I like that they had a lot of him in there and a lot of his stuff and background, but I wish there was more. Like, I want more. I want the whole movie to be about him, basically. But, so I think the movie was good. I mean, it was pretty good. It's just, I have little things about it that I didn't really like, and I didn't love the movie. It was not bad at all. It was a good movie. It was entertaining. It was just, like, a lesser version of, like, Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is an amazing movie, or it's kind of like they were trying to be a little, it wasn't trying to be like something like Girl Interrupted, but in a way that it was supposed to kind of feel like they were trapped in there, like in a mental war, but it was actually fine, like they were totally fine, but it wasn't meant to be scary or anything. It was done well in that it was a kind of comedy thing. It was pretty funny. It was just like a kind of coming of age movie in a way, but so it was a pretty good movie. I just didn't love it, and basically I just want more Zach Galifianakis. My favorite scene was probably, like, the most memorable scene was the one where they sang Under Pressure. That was awesome. That was an awesome scene. That was pretty cool. All of them singing Under Pressure. I mean, they weren't really singing it, but they're, like, lip syncing it. It was a pretty awesome scene. The lighting and just the whole thing, that was awesome. So overall, the movie was good. I think part of the movie was I didn't really like the main character. You have to really like the characters. I didn't like him that much. I just liked Zach Galifianakis. That's, like, the only reason I kept watching it. And for Emma Roberts, because I think she's cool. If you like little coming-of-age movies and just little fun comedies. And, I mean, it's not a comedy, but I don't know what else I would... It's like a comedy drama. I don't know how else I would explain it, what category I'd put it in. It's just... It's pretty entertaining. So, if you like those kind of movies, they're kind of happy, kind of sad, then, yeah, it's pretty good. For more movie reviews and stuff, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!